A foundation of faith, the foundation of Christianity, the word Trinity is not in the Bible. Trinity, believe me, the word Bible is nowhere in the Bible, any Bible. The word Trinity is in the Quran. Listen to Jesus. My Father is greater than all. My Father is greater than I. That's what he says, your master. But you don't do that, the Christian. Listen to Jesus, because if you listen to Jesus, it is Islam. That is Islam. Whatever he tells you is Islam. You believe her? I say, your mother. He says, maybe, maybe. Your mother. She said, I dreamt of your father coming along and cohabiting with her, and now she's carrying a baby. You believe that? And this guy is a teacher in the college. He said, maybe, maybe. He says, you know. I said, this is, you're a moron. You are a moron. You know, moron? A zombie. This is zombieism being cultivated. You can talk like that? That maybe your mother, you know, she had a dream and she's carrying a baby. Is this how children come about? In dreams? From dreams? No. But it is the lowness that which they can go, just to prove that, no, this is in the right. I said, look, here, a woman, God Almighty says, this is my command. Act of will, she had a baby. We agree, we believe. 1,000 million Muslims, no arguments. We don't argue. We accept, because we know this mighty messenger of God had no reason to lie. What was he getting out of this? The easier way would have been to ridicule. So don't be a fool, man. What are you talking? Your sister, your mother, if she told you that, you believe her? He says, no. So how can you believe this Jewess 2,000 years ago? No, but we believe. Because who testifies? God is speaking through Muhammad, telling us, so we submit. Amanna saddaqna. We hear and we affirm. So they are reasoning with her. Say, how is it that you have brought this child into the world without a husband? What can she say? She said, the Quran says, فَأَشَارَتْ إِلَيْهِ, but she merely pointed to the babe, to ask him. So they say, قَالُوا كَيْفَ نُكَلِّمُ مَنْ كَانَ فِي الْمَهْدِ صَبِيًّا. Said, how can we talk to one who's a child in the cradle? How can we talk to him, this little thing? What can he tell us? And by a miracle, Jesus spoke. From his mother's arms, defended his mother against an unbelieving audience. So, قَالَ إِنِّي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ. So, most certainly I am the servant of Allah. آتَانِيَ الْكِتَابِ. He has given me revelation. وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. And he has made me a prophet. He spoke and defended his mother. The first miracle attributed to Jesus in the Holy Quran is that he spoke as an infant from his mother's arm. The first miracle of Jesus Christ, the other picture, the first miracle. You read in the Gospel of St. John, I think it's chapter 3 at the beginning. Jesus and his disciples go to the marriage feast at Cana, and they run short of wine, W-I-N-E, wine. So his mother comes to him and says, son, look, these people are in a problem. They have run short of wine. Help them out. Believing that he's got mysterious powers to help these people solve the problem. So Jesus blurts out, according to the Bible, he says, woman, woman, what have I to do with thee? My time is not yet. Woman. In the whole of the 27 books of the New Testament, not once does he call his mother, mother. Woman, woman. I'm asking, in the Hebrew language, is there no word for mother? This word woman he uses for the prostitute. Same word. You see, the woman who was caught in the act, they bring her to Jesus. They say, look, this woman, we caught her in the act. What must we do to her? They're putting him to the test. They're trying to get him embroiled with the government or with the religious authorities. Either way, he loses. If he says, stone her, that was the law, book of Leviticus, that the adulterer and the adulteress must be stoned to death. If he says, stone her as a man of God, he must abide by the law. Stone her. And they would have stoned her and killed her. And if they were apprehended by the law, by the government, they said, look, our Messiah told us to. This is what our Messiah said. So he's in conflict with the government. Because adultery was not a capital crime in the Roman Empire, nor is it today in Christendom. It is not a crime at all. Adultery is no crime. Did you know that? Adultery is not a crime in any Christian nation on earth. It's not a crime. The law will not hold you responsible for committing adultery. He calls the prostitute, woman, where are thine accusers? So he says, no, they're all gone. So he said, all right, go and sin no more. Woman. He says, there's not a single place he calls his mother, mother in the Bible. So he says, woman, what have I to do with thee? My time is not yet. So she persuades him. He said, look, man, help them out. These people are in difficulty. He says, all right, fill up the vats. You know, the wine vats with water. And they fill it up. And he turned the water into wine. And they drank. And they remarked, the drunkards of the night who have been drinking, imbibing all night, they're remarking, why have you kept the best wine for the last? The best wine, why have you kept it to the last? So my brother Jimmy Swaggart, he says in his book that that wine was pure grape juice. I said, brother, I didn't have a chance to talk about that, but I said, brother, Swaggart, you see, if a man has an imbibing wine for a whole night and the things run dry and you give him pure grape juice, that grape juice is like mud water to him because there is a law involved. You drink 5% alcoholic drink, 5%, after a while your senses are getting dulled. You need 10% to make you feel that it's alcohol, something to give you a kick. Then you need 20% to make you to feel there is something potency in it. You have to increase the alcoholic content to make you feel that it's better than the previous one, it's better than the previous one. If you give such a man grape juice, he says it's mud water. What is it? Insipid, no taste. And he's telling us in his book called Alcohol, this is he's telling us, and I have no reason to contradict him unless you have, he said there are 11 million drunkards in America, 11 million drunkards. And 44 million heavy drinkers. Get that book, small book. I have a sample here, I think. Alcohol. 11 million drunkards and 44 million heavy drinkers. And he says, to me, there's no difference between the two. Means 55 million drunkards, as far as Jimmy Swaggart is concerned. In my country, they don't call them drunkards. It's an insult. A guy can punch you on the jaw if you call a man a drunkard. You have to call him alcoholic. You know, the poor man is sick. He's a sickness. He needs treatment. It's not a sin. Alcohol is not a sin. It's a sickness. Jimmy Swaggart calls a spade a spade. He said drunkards. 55 million drunkards in America. 11 million drunkards and heavy drinkers. I make no difference. I said, yes, brother. I said, go a step further. Islam will take you a step further. He said, even your social drinkers are on the same level. They're breaking the laws and commandments of God as given in the last and final revelation of God. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, he said, whatever intoxicates in greater quantity is forbidden even in smaller quantity. No excuse for a nip or a tot. The Holy Quran says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O you who believe, innamal khamru, most certainly intoxicants, wal maisiru, and gambling, wal ansabu, and fortune telling, wal azlamu, and idol worship, rijzum min amali shaitan, are an abomination of Satan's handiwork, fajtanibuhu la'allakum tuflihun. It's a shun such abomination that you may prosper. And one pronouncement, he created the biggest society of teetotalers in the world. 1,000 million Muslims, as a people as a whole, they don't imbibe that filth. We have our black sheep. We are not all angels. We know some Muslims can bring the Christian under the table. That we know. We are ashamed of them. But as a people as a whole, the biggest society of teetotalers, people who don't imbibe, are the Muslims. And what did it? This word of God. This is a miracle. You perform 1 million miracles and you can't change people. Here, without any miracles, he transformed nations. This is a miracle. What miracle are you talking about? So, the Quranic first miracle of Jesus, he spoke and defended his mother against an unbelieving audience. The first miracle of Jesus, he turned water into wine. Since then, wine has flowed like water in Christendom. And there's no way out. The preachers, Jimmy Swaggart is telling us, there's a book called Preachers. And he's telling us in that book, he said at a church conference, all these preachers, the evangelists, the hot gospelers, the Bible thumpers, you know, they call them evangelists. Born again Christians, yes, at a conference, we asked, somebody suggested this, look, those people who are against against alcohol, please stand up, that you can go out when you return, preach in your churches against the evil of alcohol. Please stand up. And Jimmy Swaggart says, nobody stood up. That means they all opted for alcohol. Why? And their reason, Jimmy Swaggart said, the reasoning is, he said, look, our Lord Jesus turned water into wine. If it is good enough for our God, it's good for us. Good logic. If it's good for your God, it's good for you. He says, that was pure grape juice. I said, it is the same wine wine, your Christian scholar says. Wine wine in Greek as the Lot, the prophet Lot, according to the Bible. He drank and cohabited with his daughters, committed incest night after night. Same wine in Greek, that wine and this wine. I said, the only way out is here, the last and final revelation of God. Jesus Christ tells you that I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now. You haven't got that capacity. You're not fit to receive solution to all the problems that I can give you. I can solve all the problems of mankind till doomsday, but you are not fit. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he said, he will guide you into all truth. The Spirit of truth, for he shall not speak from himself, but what things so shall he hear, that shall he speak, and he shall declare unto you the things that are to come. He shall glorify me. He said, that Spirit of truth is Muhammad. And he truly glorified Jesus by absolving him from the calumnies of his enemies, his mother as well as Jesus. And the Christian world can never repay Muhammad for what he has done. What Muhammad has done for Jesus and for his mother. He is the true comforter, the true advocate of Jesus Christ. With these words, Mr. Chairman, I don't see the chairman around, but Mr. Chairman and my dear brethren, I stop here and give you the opportunity, as was suggested by the chairman, that you have a time, you have the opportunity of asking questions. Thank you very much. Ya Ilahi, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُّدَّكِرٍ.
And we have indeed made the Quran easy to understand and remember. Then is there any that will receive admonition? Learn the language of the Creator's last testament in Learning Quranic Arabic every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Saudi Arabia and 7 p.m. UAE on Peace TV. Dialogue. Discussion. Debate. Rebuttal. Conclusion.
Eliminate misconceptions about religion. Get enlightened.
Witness Dr. Zakir Naik in a battle of words in Crossfire every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Saudi Arabia and 9:30 p.m. UAE on Peace TV. Dr. Jamal Badawi.
A Muslim should be truthful. You cannot falsify the truth in order to please anyone.
Dr. Bilal Phillips.
If not in this life, for sure in the next life, we will find the consequence of our deeds.
Imam Siraj Vahaj.
Keep you and us on Surat al-Mustaqim. Keep us on Surat al-Mustaqim. Keep us there. If we're there, keep us there. And if we're not there, bring us on Surat al-Mustaqim.
Creation's greatest treasure in Faith Frontiers. Next on Peace TV.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deedat, for this inspiring talk. I will now give a 1-minute outline for the lecture for those who came late. Mr. Deedat started talking about the legitimacy and the illegitimacy of the both children of Abraham, and then he talked about how the Jews looked down the Arabs 1300 years ago, and they are still looking down at the Arabs now. He went further and he talked about Mary and her status, that she was not being married before the birth of Jesus. and how miraculously Jesus was born. He went again and he talked about the importance of believing on Jesus as an apostle in the Muslim point of view. In Islam, a Muslim is not a Muslim unless he believes that Jesus, peace be with him, is a messenger of Allah. He explained also, he talked about alcohol and the problems of gambling, fortune telling, and the problems of all the problems that mankind suffer, and he showed both the viewpoints of Islam and what he had discussed with Mr. Swagger. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not here to antagonize anybody, not to belittle any religion, caste, or creed. We are here to learn and to get the benefit of the talk. Mr. Deedat will now entertain questions and he will answer questions. If you have any question, please feel free and come to the mic.
According to the Quran, and I'll admit an ignorance of the Quran, okay? Was Jesus resurrected from the dead?
The question was, according to the Quran, was Jesus Christ resurrected from the dead? Now, according to the Quran, he was neither killed nor crucified. See, the Quran says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَقَوْلِهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحَ عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. That they said in boast that we killed Christ Jesus, the son of Mary, the apostle of God. In answer to that, God says, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ. That they didn't kill him, nor did they crucify him. وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ. But it was made to appear to them so. وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ لَفِي شَقٍّ مِّنْهُمْ. And those who dispute therein are full of doubts. مَا لَهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ عِلْمٍ. They have no certain knowledge. إِلَّا اتِّبَاعَ الظَّنِّ. They only follow conjecture, guesswork, fiction. وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا. For of a surety they killed him not. And I'm going to have a debate with a great Christian in your country of the Zwemer Institute, I think the night after tomorrow or tomorrow night in Kansas, Dr. Robert Douglas, on the subject of was Christ crucified? And I will prove from the Christian Bible, not from the Quran. The Quran says they didn't kill him and they didn't crucify him, we are satisfied. But no, to satisfy the Christian, I will show to them from the Christian Bible that, brothers, you have misunderstood the whole thing. You are reading something and actually you're misunderstanding it.
Less than a year ago, two of my dear friends were thrown into prison in a large Muslim country for talking to Muslims about Jesus. In most of these countries which are predominantly Muslim, one cannot go and freely talk about Jesus without fear of prison or even death. Question: how can Islam be true if it cannot stand up in the marketplace without the protection of gun or prison? Indeed, does not the truth swallow criticism and debate?
See, the question is quite a rhetoric one about Muslim governments, their policies with regards to people coming in and perverting their people. From the point of view of the Muslim, is a perversion. From the worship of the one true God, people want to take away our children and worship human beings, created beings. To us, it is the highest form of blasphemy. Worship, instead of worshiping God, worshiping his creation, creatures. So if the governments are trying to defend, I'm not defending them, but I say if they are trying to defend in the best interest of the people, that is their business. But now, at the same time, it also poses another question from my side, that the Christian missionaries, you'll have to now acknowledge that they're using deceitful methods. Deceitful. Look at this. Look at this. This book here. No Muslim child will ever think that this is Christian. Look at this. Al-Kitab, Arabic calligraphy. You see, deceiving the Muslims in the guise of Islamic book. This. At close view, if you have, you see, how easily the Muslim is being taken up by this. Al-Kitab. This calligraphy is Islamic, but actually is the Gospel of St. Matthew. Can you imagine? Deceit. Now, I want to know whether your Christianity allows you to deceive people. In Pakistan, on my way, I delivered a lecture. While I am walking out, people all around, they surround me, they're shaking hands, congratulating me. A small boy, about 12 or 14, he comes to me and he presents these three to me. This. Look at this. He presents this to me. I take it, I felt like kissing it. That's our habit. Allah's kalam, if we come across, we kiss it, but the crunch was too great, people, so I put it quickly in my pocket. For about 3 to 4 days, I had no chance of taking it out. Believe me, I'm not exaggerating. I'm moving from place to place. I have no time. When I go to the hotel, I'm tired. I take off my jacket and throw it down one side. Then in Abu Dhabi or somewhere, I took it out and put this on my table next to the bed. Still, I'm not looking what it is. Then now, to move further, I said, now let me weed out all these papers that I've collected. And I start looking at this. I'm reading, Allah, Muhammad. Look at it. Allah, Muhammad. I'm reading. Allah, Muhammad. I turn the back, it's calendar. Another one, beautiful calligraphy. Islamic calligraphy. Look at this. In 100 years, the Muslim child will never know what he's harboring in his house. Sticker, beautiful sticker. He's going to tear this out and put it in the Quran, stick it in the Quran. You know what? Deceit. Christian missionaries, this is what they're doing to our people now. Deceiving them. This one here, this is back of it. He said the Lord's Prayer. It's a Lord's Prayer? We don't talk like that. The Lord's Prayer says Al-Fatiha. We say Al-Fatiha, the opening chapter, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, opening chapter, the Lord's Prayer. So what's this? Abbana. Say, oh our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, in Arabic. Calligraphy, deceitful. You see what you're doing? Deceiving the people. This one here is not Allah Muhammad. For a week I couldn't see it. Look at this. Everybody says Allah Muhammad. Am I right? What do you see? It's not Allah Muhammad, it's Allah Muhabba. God is love. Deceiving people. I ask you, my brother missionary. You see, you're protesting. I said, look, is this your way of propagating your faith? If you have something good, why don't you go out openly and talk to them? Give them your calligraphy, your language. What are you trying to catch fish with? What are you doing now? Deceiving people. And here, another one. Coming from Ghana, a letter addressed to the Arab countries. I must read it to you. What they're trying to do now. They're sending parcels, literature, into Muslim countries. And on the top of it, they put rubber stamps. This is asking now, do you think that if I send you bigger parcels, about twice or thrice the sizes I sent you with our franking stamp, which has the name Islamic Madrasatul. Islamic Madrasatul. I don't know what it really means. But as soon as the postman, the government man says, is there Islamic Madrasatul inside? Your religion allows you to deceive people like that? In the guise of, Jesus Christ truly described them. He says, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravening wolves. They're trying to deceive you. You must be beware of them. So, brother, I'm not defending my Arab brothers. In Pakistan, you have the freedom there. Pakistan, your missionaries are making inroads. In Bangladesh, you have the freedom there. In India, you have the freedom there. See? In Indonesia, Malaysia, you have the freedom there. If some Arabs, are more stringent in the regulations, but you're still getting through. Look, by deceit, by post, by radio, you're getting through. So what are you complaining about? What is your complaint? We have a legitimate complaint. Books that the Christians write. Every book. Inside, why I became a Christian. Sultan Muhammad Paul. When you flip the pages, verses from the Quran. For the Muslim, these verses are sacred, sacrosanct. Every child, every grown-up will kiss it and put it next to the Quran. Why? Because Allah's kalam is, He will not tear it, He will not burn it. You know the psychology of the Muslim, and you're taking unfair advantage of it. Look at this. From Sufism to Islam, John Abdul Subhan. Look at this. Deceit? Does your religion allow you to deceive people like this? Catching fish? No, you tell me. So what are you crying about? What are you complaining about? In Africa, you have 35,000 full-time crusaders. Jimmy Swaggart, He's boasting that he's getting through to 22 million Muslims through his radio service, 22 million. I'm asking, what are you crying about? Please. Don't, like, bashful maidens, when you do the things, you're hurting the people's feelings, you're trying to steal our children, and now when somebody tries to do some type of protection, you're wailing like a woman. Please don't do that.
Ya Ilahi, Allah, Ya Ilahi.